Hi, welcome back. This is actually not word problems. It'll be a little mini lesson on which method to use. So we learned 3 different methods. Hopefully you're able to know my name, but we learned extract the root, we learned factoring, and we learned quadratic formula. When it comes to math and problem solving, a lot of things about problem solving you might think is like, oh, I want to find a solution. But once you start getting to more complex problems, once you start working in the industry, when you start working, let's say, as an engineer or working in other fields, finding a right solution might work, but you want to find the best solution. You want to find the most optimal and efficient solution. So right now we're going to look at how do we optimize our time, how do we optimize our efforts to make sure we're choosing the easiest possible path to the right solution. And all these methods may not work for all scenarios, but some will be best for some scenarios. So let's start with the easiest one, extract the root. Ooh, not that. So extract the root. Hopefully we remember that the key indicator for extract the root is that we need one variable squared. Because with algebraic equations that we're solving for, the variable, if I just have one variable, I could solve it. If I have 2 variables, I cannot solve. Like, we must just have one variable. But this even takes us a step further to make it a bit easier. I want to view this one variable word as in, like, I just have one letter. I don't care if they repeat. If they repeat, I don't want it. But I just want one distinct letter. And that letter must be squared. So an example would be 2x minus 5 squared equals 18. This is one variable. I just have one x that's being squared. If there's an x right here, it doesn't work. I cannot do extract the root. I want just one variable, one x, and the square is somewhere attached to it. It could be right next to it. It could be in parentheses. It can't be, let's say that square is gone. It can't be with this 2. That doesn't do anything. That's not extracting root anymore. It must be attached to it somehow. So that's the indicator. We want to make sure we have one variable squared. To solve it, we want to use, you can go back to my past video, but some acronyms we have is you want to work outside in, or you want to work opposite order, opposite operation. So make sure you look back, make sure you know how to solve these, but we're just going over how to identify which method. Extract the root is very distinct. As you parentheses, it has one variable that's being squared, but don't just rely on like, oh, if I just have parentheses, I'm going to use extract the root. Because this right here, 2x squared minus 5 equals 18, that's also extract the root. There's no parentheses here. And don't be like, oh, I just need one variable squared, like, because this one has a square that's away from it. So make sure you like understand what this means. Next up is factoring and quadratic formula. These two are very closely linked. A lot of factoring can look like quadratic formula. A lot of quadratic formula could look like factoring. Besides the very obvious factoring ones, what we need for quadratic formula is we need a quadratic. So you need ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. We'll get to the equals 0 part later, but we need a quadratic. Quadratic formula actually works even if you don't have a b or a c. It doesn't work if you don't have an a. But like if you have 3x squared minus 4 equals 0, you can still use the quadratic formula just having b be 0. There's other ways, there's more efficient ways of solving it. For example, right here, one variable squared, you can extract the root. So the most efficient way of solving this one would be extract the root. if you really want to, you can use quadratic. Let's see. So we have a quadratic. What else we have is we need to have 3 terms, because if it's less, we probably do other methods that are more efficient. But for both of these, if you don't have extract the root, the first thing I want you to do is to get one side to be 0. Get equals 0. Get equals 0. So your flowchart should be, your brain should be thinking, can I extract a root? If not, let's get with 0 to one side. So first think, can I extract a root? Once you cannot, or if you cannot, then get it equal to 0. Get one side equal to 0. And then at that point, you will have an equation that looks something like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. You'll have something like that. And now here comes something that's up to your discretion. For me personally, what I do is that I look at my quadratic, I look at my left side, the side that's not 0, and I see, can I factor this? That's 5x squared plus 21x minus 18 equals 0. I look at this for like 5 seconds, for like 10 seconds, be like, can I factor this? What can I do to maybe like get it to be like 5x x, like, can I get something to happen? But I don't spend too long on it. So 5 seconds works for me because I did a lot of practice with factoring. Maybe for you it's 30 seconds. Maybe for you it's like 45. I would stray away from anything over a minute, because at that point you're wasting a lot of time that you spent going straight into quadratic. So spend like 10-20 seconds on it. Try some AC. 5 times 18 is 90. Negative 90. Does anything multiply negative 90 that adds up to 21? Look around it. Try a couple numbers. But stop yourself from getting too invested. Be like, oh, if it doesn't work, quadratic formula. If it does work, then yeah, continue factoring. But like what we said last lesson, we're at the point now in math that you want to be confident in your work. You won't be certain at all times, but you want to be confident enough that like what you're working towards will progress. So I'm going to check it. I trust myself in factoring that if I can't find one, I'm going to go with quadratic. If I can find one, I can just factor. So be confident in your work. So to recap once more, first thing you check for is extract the root. You want to see, do I have one variable squared? If that doesn't work, you then get it equal to 0. You can take out a GCF. GCF works for both factoring and quadratic. And then after GCF, you want to be, let's factor it for 20 seconds. Once I cannot do it, if I cannot do it, I go to quadratic. Because quadratic takes the longest. Extract root, very straightforward. We did a lot of algebra practice back in like middle school. Factoring, we just did a bunch of factoring. It helps you find the answer very quickly. In quadratic, it gets very messy, but you want to be precise with it still. Hope it is helpful. As always, if you have any questions, please reach out, and I'll see you next time.